Charisma is a very powerful thing. Matter of fact, when it comes to voting and anything else, it's the only thing, and that's sad. I've been screaming my head off about this probably since 2017. But Bo in the fifth column, he also pretty much said the same thing, and he was talking about getting behind the movement, policies, not the person, which is what I've also recently been saying. You know, look, Bernie is the thing, but he's not the whole thing. Who's the next Bernie? That's what I've said many a time. You get behind him, but who's the next Bernie? Because Bernie isn't going to live forever. I wish he could, but he won't live forever. So who's next? Which one of you out there is next? Who do you know that should be next or should be now? You know, we need multiple, at the bare minimum, Bernie Sanders, because he's not a radical. He's not necessarily the future. He's just really, at best, going to put things the way they should have been 40 years ago. Maybe even 70. Charisma is not about memory. It's not about understanding. It's about a feeling. Take pro wrestling. For those that know anything about professional wrestling, you don't think about how many moves or what moves or how great their match was, the details of that match. You remember how they spoke. You remember their mannerisms, their gestures, you know, when they gesticulate. You know, you remember that, the tones in their voices, the expressions on their face, and how they made you feel. You don't remember their matches. You don't remember what they completely dressed like at all times. And honestly, in pro wrestling, gear is quite important. When it comes to, and this is going to hit hard with some people are going to be mad about this, but when it comes to like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, when it comes to Gandhi and whatnot, nobody remembers what they said. Nobody. You might remember a speech, a part of a speech here and there that's been browbeaten to you since you were a little kid. But do you really remember the things outside of what's been browbeat into you ad nauseum? Those things that were really important? Did any of you know that Malcolm X was killed because he changed his style? He went to Mecca, learned some stuff, and was like, whoa, I've been doing it wrong. Came back, lost his base because he had them riled up. He had them angry, but not angry, but they weren't doing anything. They weren't really pushing. They were just talking about pushing. Martin Luther King, him and his followers were the same way. Martin Luther, his followers wanted, equal rights. They wanted civil rights. Think about civil rights. The name was perfect, but they weren't about that. They were about him. They were about Martin Luther King Jr. They kind of was about the movement, but they really tacked on to him. So much so that when he got shot and killed, just like Malcolm X, it folded. There were riots, they were angry, but it folded. Donald Trump comes in, he's here, charismatic. None of his voters think about what he said, when he said it, or how he said it. They just remember, he talked to me. He talked on my level and I could understand him. He converses. Bernie Sanders learned that. And in the past 3 months, he's been doing that. Way more than he ever has and better. We need better. Charisma should not be what we focus on. It shouldn't be anything at all. It should be policy, a movement, something we all need to get behind and push for, so that when someone important that leads us dies, someone else is ready to pick up that flag. Someone else, many others, are ready to pick up that flag. Will you be that one? This has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.